All right, gang. You're going to pull out your shot glasses for this one. God damn. All right. We got to talk about what it means to be woke in video games or just entertainment in general and the rise of the anti-woke grifter, okay? Forgive my voice. I went to the Falcons game last night, and if you watch sports, which all real men watch sports, grift. You saw that game, and it was a barn burner to say the least. But anyway, let's get back on topic. So, what does it mean to be woke in gaming? This is a hot topic. You can see everybody is getting in on this now, right? Like everybody has to talk about this because it's such a hot button issue. It's gotten to the point where it can no longer be ignored, guys. Like we've done it. You know what I'm saying? We in the major leagues now, or should I say the in game? Grift. Anyway, so
Mama, I remember we would sleep on that floor. Cardboard box had the tape down. I was a G.
First of all, before we can get into what it means to be woke in gaming and the rise of the anti-woke grifter, we have to talk about the original definition of what it meant to be woke. And so let's start there. So I'm not going to use any like Google definitions. I think we all know what the original term meant to be woke. And I would have defined it as, and you can tell me if you disagree or not, is to be consciously aware of social issues plaguing our society. Now, the great thing about the original definition of what it meant to be woke is consciously aware doesn't mean that you're making a decision, right? It just means you are aware of it and then you get to choose on how you react to it. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're a rich white guy who runs a company. You're a billionaire and, you're just a guy providing for your family, providing for those around you, contributing to your community, making money, changing lives and doing this. And then you're made aware all of a sudden of all these racist hiring practices. And so you think as a 40, 50-year-old white guy, is my company guilty of, racist hiring practices? And so you go, you take a look at all of your old hiring campaigns and you go and you notice that there's been times where there have been maybe Black, Hispanic, Indian, Asian candidates who were more than qualified to get a job at your company, but they didn't get it over these, Caucasian, maybe less qualified candidates. And so you go down to your hiring managers and you kind of, what were we thinking here? Like, why did this person get the job and, that person didn't? And then you're not really satisfied with the answers, right? And so what you do is you get to make a conscious decision. Do you keep with the status quo because, you don't know? Or do you, change a few policies here and there to make sure that your company isn't guilty of doing this going forward, okay? Now, the modern definition of what it means to be woke, and while I don't want to, there's smarter people who can put on a better definition than I can, I look at it as having a more militant approach to the conscientiality of social issues plaguing our society. It's with prejudice. It's forcing people to make a decision on whether or not they want to act on this. Like, I'll give you a prime example, right? This same billionaire, instead of just implementing policies to make sure it doesn't happen going forward, this billionaire will go and then start firing people, processing them up out of there to hire less than qualified people of color, Hispanic, Asian, whatever the case may be, to make up for the fact that they made those decisions all that time in his company. Like I said before, the good thing about being consciously aware of these social issues is you're allowed to have the freedom of thought on how to approach them. Me, for example, when it comes to racism, yeah, I'm aware that racism is a thing. I don't care because I don't think it's that big of a deal. Oh shit. Coon. Yeah, nigga, I don't give a fuck. Kiss my ass, suck my dick. It is what it is. Racism is not that big of a deal. Let me tell you why I don't think it's that big of a deal, because it's not going anywhere. Racism is built in the very fabric of human DNA. It will never change. As a matter of fact, I believe that some of the people that call everybody else racist nowadays are just as racist, if not more, because they can be more overt with it. I don't think that I'm racist, but I'm pretty sure if I started a business, me and my Black experience as a Black man, without even like considering it, I would probably hire more Black people than I would white people. Not because I hate white people or because I'm doing it on purpose. It's because my experience and my comfortability with being around Black people is just going to be more profound. And so it would naturally be that way. But, obviously, if you got an Asian guy that comes in with a decent resume, move niggas. Because obviously they bring a bunch of, good stereotypes. You know how it goes. You know, goddamn. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's just one of the examples. Take something like the trans issue, right? I'm conscious of the trans issue, the idea of gender dysphoria, or body dysmorphia, or whatever the case may be, of a person believing that they are not the gender of which they've been assigned. I can understand how mentally that might torment a person, but just because I understand that that could be a very non-pleasurable experience for a person does not mean that I could make the conscious decision to agree that we should all change centuries of learned behavior to accommodate a few people who seem to believe they've been born in the wrong body. That is the definition of the modern definition of being woke, right? So let's extrapolate this to video games or just entertainment abroad. So I notice what people in the games industry, or not just the games industry, just the industry, Hollywood, altogether, you guys look at it so surface level, but we are attacking this thing at the cellular level. See, when you see a black person in a video game or a movie, or a woman or a LGBTQ member in a video game or a movie where they don't particularly belong, you hear us scream woke and you're thinking so surface level. But like I said, we're attacking this thing at the cellular level, because typically what happens is, when you see these things on the surface, that means the problems with the product is skin deep. Because when we want to play video games, back in the day, people who made video games were passionate about making video games. The implication is that when you see woke on the surface level, it indicates that the people that are working on the product at a cellular level are not passionate about the art that they're creating. They're more passionate about the message that they are trying to send, right? It doesn't mean that they don't like making video games. It doesn't mean that they don't enjoy their job. It just means that making the best possible video game is not at the priority level for them. It means that sending a message is a political message. This political message could be something of, white people bad, black people good, women are better than men, LGBTQ people need to be seen more, despite the fact that they're a small portion of the population. Things like that. Things that people don't care to see in their video games, movie, or whatever have you. And so take an example like Ghost of Yote. Recently, the Ghost of Tsushima sequel, Ghost of Yote, revealed that it was going to have a female protagonist, and it was going to be, I guess better than the first, whatever you want to say. And so people were in an uproar. Why are we getting this female character? And of course, people in the game industry was like, oh my God, you're acting so strange and whoopty about a female character. And the implication is that we're all sexist and we're all racist or whatever the case may be. But not actually, because it doesn't make any sense. And that's the whole thing about it, right? Putting female characters or black characters or LGBTQ characters in places where it just doesn't make sense. And let me tell you why it doesn't make sense for Ghost of Yote. You have a new IP, I guess it's called Ghost now because it ain't Ghost of Tsushima, that has a beloved character, Jin Sakai. Understand, guys, creating new IP that hits is very hard to do. All you got to do is look at the movie industry. There's not a whole lot of new IPs. It's just sequels and franchises and, shared universes and shit. So creating a new IP that people love and enjoy and can emotionally tie themselves to is hard. When you get one that's profitable and people love and celebrate across the world, and you suddenly change it, that makes no sense, especially due to the financial implications of the video game industry right now. Budgets have ballooned and returned has not been what they've desired it to be. Ghost of Tsushima was a hit. Everybody knew it was a hit. So you would think, and we know how executives and investors think, they want to play it safe because they want to return. They want money. We know that doing this was not about making the best possible product and the most profitable product. It was about sending a message. It's about, we want more women at the face of video games going forward. We know that because you wouldn't take a character that people already love like Jin Sakai and suddenly, to hell with him, let's bring in a female character when we all know, statistically speaking, people are less likely to go and see women be action heroes than they are men. So we know it's politically driven. It's not a conversation to have. You can sit there and talk about, well, let's wait and see. I don't need to wait and see anything. We've seen enough evidence over the last year, over the few years, but if not, definitely the last year, that there's politically driven decisions being made at the cellular level here. I'll give you another example. Spider-Man 2. I love this one. We don't even have to talk about the fact that Miles Morales sunned one of the greatest characters in IP history in his own damn game, right? Peter Parker Spider-Man is literally up there with Pokemon and Batman and Hello Kitty and everything else as being one of the most profitable IPs of all time. So knowing that the business wants to make money, right? Why would you ever undermine Peter Parker? Well, they did it with Miles Morales, right? But we don't have to talk about that. Let's talk about Miles Morales. Me being a black man, I know something about being black, right? Especially when you're talking about the context of a black man being mixed with Hispanic descent. So we have this young black man, Miles Morales, who goes to, it seems like a private school, right? If you know anything about being black, you know there's this thing called colorism, and you know how much stock black people put into their hair. So if he's mixed with black, he probably has a good strand of hair. I'm not even mixed, right? And I get complimented on the texture of my hair all the time by other black people. We put a lot of stock into our hair. Don't know why. You know what I'm saying? It can be controversial. It's a thing. Nappy-headed niggas get roasted. Smooth-haired niggas get celebrated. I'm sorry. And so knowing that Miles Morales would be mixed with Hispanic descent, he would have a nice grade of hair. On top of that, he has a mom and a dad. His dad is a cop. His mom is a very attractive Puerto Rican politician, very involved in the community. Also, he has an uncle. He's a street nigga. Okay, so mom and dad, that already makes you in the top 20% of black people in America because you have a dad in the home. And then, you're mixed. Your uncle is a street nigga, so it's not like you're green, right? Miles constantly has on a new pair of Jordans, right? So he stayed fresh. So it's this. We're not talking about no weirdo. If Miles Morales was a real black person in real life, he would be that nigga on campus. So how is it that the it nigga on campus ends up in a relationship with a deaf bitch with a nose the size of Texas? That doesn't make any sense. I know any real actual black man playing that game was like, wait, so Peter Parker gets the pretty red hair chick and you got my nigga Miles Morales settling for the deaf girl? Like, what? My nigga Miles Morales can do better than that. But we know that you did it to check boxes. Oh, let's take the young black kid, and this is without the Spider-Man persona. Let's take the young black kid and put him in a relationship with a deaf chick. No, that shit ain't real. And listen, I'm not trying to disparage anybody who's handicapped or whatever the case may be, but I'm telling you, let's be real. Miles is growing up in Harlem. In Harlem, people. It's Harlem. Everybody's trying to be with the it girl on campus. Everybody trying to get the baddest chick. Miles Morales would be that nigga on campus. We're talking homecoming king, homecoming queen, and he's with a deaf. Stop it. Stop it. And this is what happens when you're trying to pander so hard, because narratively speaking, it takes you out of it. Because I like Miles Morales. I think he's a dope character. And so dope characters, you like for dope things to happen to him. Being in a relationship with a deaf girl who I'm watching the fucking game and he's throwing up signs trying to talk to her, it's taking me out of it. The immersion, because I know this ain't real. It's not authentic. No black man would do that. Sorry, it is what it is. I hate it, controversial to say, but it's the truth. All right. And so now that we have laid the ground for that, the anti-woke grifters, we're accused of being grifters, right? Anti-woke grifters. So first of all, we got to talk about what the word grift means. So what does it mean to be a grifter? We're actually going to pull up a definition on this one. A grifter is a con artist, someone who swindles people out of money through fraud. Okay. So what does that mean in the context of video games or even films, right? The implication is that us grifters, us anti-woke grifters, are spewing a bunch of things that we don't believe, spreading false information to rile up a crowd and obtain views, clout, and money in exchange for that. So especially in my case, me being a black man, with the things that I'm saying, definitely being anti-DEI, definitely being anti-woke. The implication is that I don't believe any of the things I'm saying, and I'm just trying to tap into an angry audience that, or worse, I'm making people angry. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I mean, listen, when I became red-pilled, it came through films, all right? The Honey remake was a catastrophe. If you ever seen the Honey remake with Teyana Taylor, that was the movie that started it all for me. I'm clearly watching this movie, and it's clearly white people bad, everybody else good. Maybe you didn't feel that way. I definitely felt that way. I'm not going to get into it. And then obviously watching the Quartering for the first time cover the Brie Larson debacle in Captain Marvel. And originally I thought he was like a white supremacist or some shit like that. Listening to him and realizing, we actually agree on most things. And then the movie actually came out and I was like, holy shit, that nigga was right. That's where I became red pill. So it didn't even have anything to do with video games. I didn't start realizing it in video games until later. The idea that I'm spewing a bunch of stuff I don't believe is ridiculous. I just have a different opinion from most black people who tend to be sheep. It is what it is. Black people are very susceptible to cries of racism. I heard the Act Man say something about the boy who cried woke. Do we have people in our space who call everything woke? Absolutely. Do we as people who make content use clickbaity titles to reel people in to discuss topics? Absolutely. But here's the thing. Journalists do it all the time. As a matter of fact, journalists have done it for years. So if you're going to call us grifters, why don't you call them grifters for using clickbait titles? There's times where I use the term woke in titles, and then you come in, you listen to the video, and I say, actually, guys, this isn't really woke, okay? Right. Prime example being the Wednesday TV series. The Wednesday TV series starring just Jenna Ortega, sorry, almost fucked that up, was not woke. It was actually pretty good. Well, I mean, there was some feminist propaganda in there, but I wouldn't consider it to be woke. It doesn't matter anyway, because good content always beats woke. It doesn't matter how woke it is. If it's good content, it'll work. Look at Baldur's Gate, right? A lot of people tell me Baldur's Gate is very woke, but it's sold very well. At some point, you guys got to take some accountability. You've created this, okay? You're the reason why everybody's screaming woke the minute we see a black person in something that doesn't make any sense. Prime example being God of War Ragnarok. Why there was a black girl in a Greece. Wow. Why was there a black girl in a video game made around Norse mythology? Doesn't make any sense. Takes me out of the game. Even as a black person, I'm like, well, wait a minute. Something here doesn't make any sense. The game was good and it didn't ruin the game for me. But you start paying attention to things like Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League, Flintlock Siege of Dawn, Concord, and a great many of other games that I, have roasted so much, I can't even fit them all into one brain at this point. Doesn't work. So you can call us grifters, you can call us whatever you want to call us, but the simple fact of the matter is the shit doesn't work. So y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. I'm willing. I saw that Act Man had tweeted out that he would want to have a conversation with anybody about the whole woke conversation. Challenge accepted if you would reply to my DM. I'm willing to talk with it about anybody. It's trash. Okay? It's ruining the industries at a cellular level because the people making the art are too focused on their agenda. And you can see it. We can all see it. The rumors are that the people who are making the games are not competent at their job because the ideology is that we want to get all of the unrepresented people into the industry and all of the white men, the old guard, up out of there. And so all of the actually talented people are being moved out. And I can tell you as a black person myself, it ain't too many black people growing up saying they want to make video games. Sorry, it don't exist. Sorry. I'm not saying that there aren't a few, but it's not at a large level. Okay. Most niggas ain't dreaming about making video games. So I know, and women too, same thing with women. I know that when I see a studio and there's an abundance of black people in there, my radar is going off. All right. Same thing. I don't care what you say. If I get on a plane and I see two black women in the cockpit, I'm getting off the plane. I'm not about to play with my life to make y'all feel better. I'm getting off the plane. I need my pilots to be middle-aged and white, okay? Preferably with a few sex scandals in the background. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just keeping it a being with you. When I look at the picture of a studio, what I want to see is I want to see white men and Asian men. That's what I want to see making my video games. And if a black studio wants to come out and make a quality video game and grow, okay, change the narrative, baby. I'm rooting for it. I plan on doing it one day when I get enough money to do it. But right now, when I look at the studios that are making the best video games, I'm looking at the staff. I'm sorry, it is what it is. I see white men and Asian men. That's what I'm seeing. The rest of you motherfuckers, I'm looking at your studio picture. It's full of women, and I'm looking at the track record. Garbage. Trash. So you can say whatever it is you want to say. I'm just keeping it real. Y'all let me know what y'all think. As always, Griff. I'll talk to y'all later. May the Griff be with you.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.